Welcome to College Tennis Talk. Today we are joined by Bobby Knight. Many of you know Bobby from his work with College Tennis Today. I love the work Bobby's doing and what he's providing college tennis fans and enthusiasts. So I'm so thrilled Bobby took the time to join us today as we launch College Tennis Talk. Thanks again, Bobby. So now let's spin and begin. You are with College Tennis Talk, and we are joined today with Bobby Knight from College Tennis Today. Bobby's done an incredible job starting College Tennis Today, College Tennis Online, and his promotion of the college game. So, Bobby, I appreciate you spending the time and helping us get our project, our show launched here. And thank you.
No problem. Glad to help any way I can.
Absolutely. So, Bobby, how did you get College Tennis Today started, and what was the idea behind that?
Well, I guess it was probably late 2014. It was right around the time of the no ad switchover. I mean, at the time there wasn't a whole lot of coverage out there. Colette Lewis was, her site Zoo Tennis. She's always done a great job, but she wasn't happy with the no ad format. Decided she was going to cut back her D1 coverage a little bit, which was going to leave a hole out there. So surprisingly, it was Manny Diaz from Georgia had contacted me, knew I had done some writing in the past on a couple of different websites, and wanted to know if it was something that I'd be interested in doing it. At the time, I never really thought about having my own site. I'd always kind of done some, web chats and blogs here and there, but for different people. I never really thought about doing it myself. And like I said, at the time, we had a 2.5-year-old at home living in St. Louis, and thought it over with my wife and said, sure, why not? How hard can it be? We'll just put some box scores out there and, a couple match write-ups. I honestly didn't really think it would go much of anywhere, but it just kind of took off at the time. Everybody enjoyed having one place to find your results and what was happening, what was coming up. And it just, just kind of snowballed from there, one week to the next week to the next month. And, it's been going for over 5 years now. The last few have been a little bit slow since the move to London, but still involved as much as I can be. But it's just it's funny how one little thing grows into a big thing over time.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly when I first learned of your website, your tweets, and what you were doing, but instantly fell in love and appreciated what you were doing. And did you realize when you started this how much you would be promoting and engaging college tennis fans, promoting the sport and engaging the fans?
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I thought it was just a place for me to kind of keep involved with tennis. Put like I said, put scores here and there, and I always like doing the live scoring links. So I wanted to be a place where everybody could find that easy way to follow the match instead of having to search through 3 or 4 different sites. You had one place to go, find out what time your team's playing, where they're playing, how to follow it, and like I said, it just kind of kept growing. I didn't really anticipate much. I figured if I had a couple of 100 people reading here or there, that was great. It ended up being a couple thousand here and there, but it's just amazing how it took off, and it's been great. Like I said, I love tennis, love college tennis, very passionate about it, and it's just a great sport, and I'm just it's been a great ride so far.
For sure. And you say a great passion. What drives that passion? How did you get involved with tennis to begin with? Did you grow up playing tennis?
It was always kind of more recreationally. My dad and my 3 brothers, or 2 brothers, the 3 of us and my dad, we'd always go out on the weekend playing doubles. Mom and dad had the old wooden rackets. I remember watching the Ed Bergs and the McEnroes and Lindells and all those guys in the 80s, and it was just something that was fun to do. And then we kind of kept doing it all throughout the time I was younger up until college, and then in college played more intramurals. I was never super competitive at it, but it was just kind of a fun thing to do. I always loved watching it on TV. And then at Georgia, which was hosting the NCAAs just about every year back in that time in the 90s, I just went out there during May, and you'd sit out there for a week, see everybody in the country come through, and it was just contagious. You just watch it, the excitement, and there was always something going on one court over to another court, and it was a quick 2-3 hours, but it was great excitement, and just that kind of got me hooked, really, from the time I was in college for the most part.
Well, if you were watching Georgia, some of those matches might have been 2 hours. They definitely were a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But you talked about switching to the no ad scoring and college tennis trying to find ways to almost shorten the matches to keep the fans engaged. But I go back to when you were at Georgia. What was the longest tennis match you might have been watching and spectating in?
It was, back then there were some that would be 3.5, 4 hours. You just, like I said, you didn't even think about the time when it was going
Yeah.
on, because it was, what's going on this court, what's going on that court, how many ads has that been? And it was just, when you're there in person, you're not really paying attention to the time. It could have been, but I'm not 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It just, you get so wrapped up in it, you're not really looking at the clock. You're just watching the scoreboard for the most part. But it was probably, I'm sure there were some 4-hour matches out there, but I loved it.
It's like being in a casino with no windows and no clock on the wall.
Yeah.
And,
next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, well,
yeah. And sometimes that happens. Rain delays, no indoor courts or lights. They get stretched out. So we've all been a part of some of those epic long matches. We talk about the way, how you help promote this game, how you've engaged fans. So I want to know, how do you think we continue to promote and engage our fans during this time of uncertainty, going through this stretch? And if we're successful getting through this time, how do we grow even further once things return to what we knew as normal before?
Yeah, I think it's important for every school, every team they got to get out in the community. You got to, you have to have your town, your college, your city rallying around you. I mean, if you can't get that, then you're not going to get it anywhere else. So it's just, having players maybe go out in the off season or in the, in the fall, more or less, go out to some local clubs and just to try to drum up interest for the team, go to where people are playing. So maybe if you go out there and practice for a couple hours and people see, hey, those are the guys over at the college playing, you're more likely to go watch someone that whether you know them a lot or a little bit, but you get used to seeing people out and around the town. And then kind of the community engagement. I think that's just the biggest thing. You have to get out there, make yourself known, put yourself out there. A lot of the little things you see teams doing after the matches are over, thanking everybody for coming, and the promotions and everything are nice to get people to come. But you want people to show up, get hooked, come back, tell their friends about it. But it's getting there for that first time. And I think, like I said, just getting out in the community and building as much awareness for the program as you can. Because like I said, people come from all different backgrounds. It doesn't matter if you're American, you're from Europe, you're from Asia, if you're supporting the college and the town is a college town, they're gonna support you no matter what. It's just a matter of getting them interested in you for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need more people like you that just step up and for the love, for the passion, help promote this game. You mentioned, thanking people and the teams engaging fans, and a former player of mine who's assisting out at New Mexico, Robin Goodman, and on the women's side, Matt Frost, two former players of mine at Drake. And one of the ways they do that is at the conclusion of each match, their teams hustle up into the stands and make sure that they're shaking hands and thanking everybody that was at that tennis match that day. So those are nice little touches, personal feels that you can try to give back as best they can, even through the heat of competition or at the end of competition.
Yeah. And like I said, especially the young kids, you get them hooked and they want to bring their parents out. So it's important to get everybody, but especially the young ones.
Yeah. So moving along here, what are the things right now that you like best about college tennis?
It's just nonstop action for the most part. Like I said, it's you go to a dual match, you're not going to be disappointed. There's always something going on one court. If one there's a timeout over in this one court, someone's taking a break or whatever. There's 2 or 3 other courts where there's something going on. And I guess with the no ad format, 40 love can quickly go to 40 all, and then it's 1 point sudden death, and then it's either a break or a hold. So it's just I guess it's just nonstop excitement for the most part.
What are your thoughts? You've mentioned no ad scoring twice now. What are your thoughts on the no ad? Did you like that change? Have you grown to appreciate that change, or give me your thoughts there, Bobby?
Yeah, still, I mean, I was always more for the traditional scoring. Like I said, there's nothing like seeing someone grind out there for 4, 5, 6 deuce games and see who's got it see who's tough enough for the most part. It's definitely changed things a little bit. It's you see more upsets than it seems like you ever used to. I don't know if the doing a numbers comparison would show that, but it seems like there's so many points. You watch the matches at the indoors, and if you can track the stats, you'll see certain matches of 60-70% of the service games all go to no deciding point, and whoever wins that 1 point, it can be a huge swing. So I think it takes a little bit of the mental aspect out of it for the most part. You kind of know even if you're down left 40, it's not winning 5 points to get a break or a hold. It's just getting 4. So that one extra point not having to get is a big thing. So I mean, I'd love for them to go back to the traditional scoring. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, the match times have been less, which is what I think everybody was driving for. Have it fit into a 2 to 2.5 hour window, because most people, just casual fans, they probably don't want to sit out there for 4 hours. 2.5 hours they can do, but after 3 hours or so, the kids are wanting to go. If it's a night match, and people want to go home and do whatever. So, from the time aspect, it's a good thing. But like I said, I still love the old traditional format.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get away from tradition. I know our players, they have enjoyed it a bit. And the ones that are coming through now, it's all they've ever known. And it is an adjustment for them playing wise, but there is certain excitement. I mean, when you're out on court coaching, when you're out on court playing, and you hear,
Deciding point.
Yes, it does draw that attention from everybody, and everybody either looks up at the scoreboard, what court's that going on, and it does kind of draw that quick excitement that fans do and enjoy, and it helps engage them through any sporting competition. So still up in the air on if it's great for our sport and developing long term, but I think short term for our individual matches and fan engagement, it's been a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
We all know this college season was cut short, and it was disappointing for a lot of us. Some of these other sports have run virtual, computerized tournaments, brackets for basketball events. And in your mind, looking at this college tennis field, and right now we're a little bit more focused on the men's side. I coach on the men's side. I'm more familiar there. But on our men's side, who would you have getting into that national championship match? Maybe even being crowned national champions this year.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to be North Carolina's year this year. It seemed like they just had a senior in Blumberg that was a rock there. So deep, so talented. I thought Florida was another one. It seemed like Florida was struggling a few matches here and there. In USC, you couldn't doubt what they did at the indoors, but I kind of liked North Carolina to finally get it done this year. So it's kind of too bad. You have a Will Blumberg that comes around for 4 years, does a great job, and chance to finish it out with a national title, never gets the option to do it. So I kind of like, North Carolina would have probably been my favorite, but you never know. There was 5 or 6 teams right there that were all pretty close. It could have gone either way. So it's one of those things of who could play 2-3 days in a row in tough heat and get it done. So tough to tell.
Well, as a sentimental favorite, I might be joining you there with North Carolina. I mean, Sam down there as the head coach. He was coaching there when I was competing and playing for Florida State. Tripp Phillips, associate coach down there. I grew up with him through the juniors, played against him and college. So, always rooting for them to do the best they can. Two great guys, great ambassadors, great coaches for this college game.
Definitely.
Yeah. And, in the next 5 years, we talked about a virtual champion this year. So then we're looking at in the next 5 years, who do you see as a team that has yet to cross that line and be crowned a national champion that within the next 5 years might be holding up their first championship trophy?
Like I said, I thought last year Florida might be Florida's year, and I thought this year maybe it was going to be their year. So it seems like the deck's fully loaded at Florida. They got plenty of depth. It seems like it's just a matter of time for those guys down there to finally get one. So I guess Florida would be my biggest favorite. I guess Ohio State's another one of those teams. It seems like they're always great in indoors, outdoors. They're good. Not great but good. And they're another one of those teams that's come so close several times. So I think my top 2 would probably be Florida and Ohio State. Interesting. North Carolina is still going to be pretty loaded too. So if they can keep the talent coming in, they're going to be right there too. There's probably top 3.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to agree with you again on Ohio State. I think we're all rooting for Ty Tucker to hold that outdoor championship. He's won the indoors a few times, and he definitely has a talent there year in and year out. And you look at the roster that Brian down at UF has been putting together the last few years, and you think he's going to keep building that and getting it stronger down there.
Yeah.
I'm a Florida State grad, played there, so still rooting for the Noles and Dwayne Holtquist, but Brian Shelton is definitely doing a great job down there in Gainesville.
Definitely.
We're sticking with the finals theme right now. We had our virtual from this year, who are first time winners might be in the upcoming years. But looking back at our finals matches, what is the best college finals match you have? And we're going to stay with the team match that you have spectated and been a part of.
Yeah, I'd probably say about the first one I can remember was my senior year of college, 99. Georgia beats number 1 seed UCLA 4-3 in the final. It was one of those matches that Georgia just kind of kept getting by each team one by one. UCLA was a pretty heavy favorite going down the line. If UTR was around back then, I'm sure they would have been pretty heavy favorites just about everywhere. Just one of those things, huge crowd. Georgia got a little bit of momentum. I think in one of the deciding matches, their guy was down a set in 5-2, comes back and takes the second set in the tiebreak, wins the third, and I think 6-2, 6-4, and then the guy at number 4 clinched it. It was just one of those things. It was the momentum was crazy. This way it is in college matches. One minute your team's doing great. Next minute, we're getting killed. This match is gonna be over in 30 minutes, and then next thing you know, it turns back. And of course, that's back in when they were playing long deuce matches here and there, and just that was probably my favorite. Like I said, being just graduated from school, getting to see your school win was a great one. That's probably my top one, and then I'd say a close second would be that 13 final between Virginia and UCLA, where UCLA championship point. Puget goes to put it away, get match over, but his foot just touches the net there. One of those things, the ref chair just happened to be looking right at it. It wasn't very noticeable, but it was noticeable, and then goes on to get broke, and then Virginia wins their first title. Bolin gets the monkey off his shoulder, and then they go on to win 4 or 5 in a row. So it was that was a crazy one too, just because it was back and forth. It seemed like it was a done deal. I mean, UCLA looked like they had it, and Virginia just rose to the occasion and took it.
Our UCLA fans will not like reminiscing about that. I was there in the crowd. I had some guys in the individual event, so we were there a few days early and caught some of that championship. But yeah, I mean, UCLA had players running out on the court with their arms up in the air.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a whole great tournament, because in the semifinals they had a war with Ohio State that came down to the final court. And it was Giron versus Cobelt there at number 2 to decide the match, and it was, I think, finished 7-5 in the third. So it was just one of those things. It seemed like it was going to be UCLA's year, and just Virginia found a way to get it done. Mitchell Frank was kind of the hero of the day, and then he ends up leading them to a couple more. So it was just the start of the dynasty for those guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Bobby, we're gonna turn this to a fun little segment called Quick Volleys. I'm gonna shoot some questions out to you, and you're gonna give us your quick response.
Sure.
All right. Are you ready, Bobby?
I'm ready.
American football versus European football.
I'd say American football with the emphasis on college. If it was NFL versus European football, I'd probably take European football, but college football I love.
All right, so agree. Favorite college team?
Georgia.
Favorite Premier League team?
Spurs. Though I'm in a heavy Arsenal house here. Both of my kids, that's all they wear is Arsenal kids every day.
All right. We'll get our backing from Kyle Spencer at NC State. Fish and chips, yes or no?
Never been a huge fish guy, so I'm going to go no. I haven't had it very many times.
Best venue for college tennis?
I'm going to say Baylor.
Most exciting match you've ever watched?
It would probably be that 99 final Georgia UCLA.
Most entertaining college player, past or present, and we're talking about pure entertainment, not not the best player, but entertaining player. It could be both.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was gonna say Steve Johnson because it was this one. He had this aura when he walked out in the court, especially his junior senior year. He just knew he was gonna drop the hammer on someone, and he did it. You know, he just the way he carried himself on the court, and he wasn't afraid of anybody. He was ready to blow you off the court, and he did. So I mean, I'm gonna go Steve Johnson.
All right. If there was a college tennis draft and you were making the number one pick, who would you select?
If it was this year's crop, I would have said Blumberg.
Okay.
Yep.
If you're going past and present, who's your number one pick?
Past and present. If it was past, I might say I'm gonna say John Isner.
I was going to say you might have to go with your boy down from Georgia. All right, John Isner.
Yeah, I'm going to John Isner.
Right. Who would be the coach of that team?
This day and age, I'd probably say Brian Boland. I mean, there's no one else that's getting it done like he's done the last 10 years. If it was 10 years ago, I might probably say Manny Diaz, but I'd say probably right now I'd go Brian Boland.
All right, U.S. Open or NCAA championships?
NCAA every day.
NCAA championships. Agree. Best tennis movie?
I'm gonna go Wimbledon. Kirsten Dunst and Paul Bettany.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
the actual tennis scenes were horrible. You know, it was one of those movies you could tell it was all digitally enhanced because the guy, one of the guys would be at the net and the ball would be flying by him, and magically he'd get right there and hit the ball. But it was, I don't know, I thought it was a decent movie.
So I would go with Royal Tenenbaums. Not a tennis movie, but had tennis in it.
Tennis theme, yeah, a little bit there, yeah.
Fun little dark comedy. But anyway, Bobby, I appreciate you helping us. When you got started, I loved what you were doing, and always wanted to help and do whatever I could to help, promote you and get things going. So I really appreciate you joining on and being a part of this this startup, this college tennis talk. So thank you very much.
Good luck with everything.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And I'm sure we'll have you on again.